Mental health disaster, 40% misdiagnosed. Let that sink in for a second. You walk into an office, you sit down for a 15-minute consult with someone you barely know. They hand you a life-altering label, a script for a pill, and a brand new identity based on guidelines manufactured years ago in some boardroom.
Right. All right.
Woo!
Yeah. Okay, let's be honest here. What's really happening? What's actually happening behind closed doors? You got quotas attached to favorite pharma reps, fat fees paid for pushing specific drugs, of course, and questionnaires that treat human consciousness like a broken washing machine. So people are trusting an outside source rather than their own gut, and they're getting completely blindsided.
And today we're tearing the lid off this entire scam, folks. Hey, it's Dr. Nic and Professor Mike with Divine Guidance Institute. We teach you how to know with absolute certainty and never get blindsided again. Right now, we're going to get into it. We're going to unpack these killer stats, the stats that kill. Here's the reality. 40% of all adults carry a mental health misdiagnosis. Social anxiety disorder, 98% misdiagnosed. Bipolar, 93% misdiagnosed. Panic disorder, 86% misdiagnosed. Autism spectrum, 75% are misdiagnosed.
Woo!
Schizoaffective, 75% misdiagnosed. General anxiety disorder, 71% misdiagnosed. Major depressive disorder, 66% are misdiagnosed. Persistent depressive disorder, now what is that? That's not major depression, it's just general depression. Even that has a 60% misdiagnosed rate. The stats are just, they're crazy. Adjustment disorder, 50% misdiagnosis rate. ADD, attention deficit disorder. Okay, the misdiagnosis rate, 62. PTSD, post-traumatic, 44% misdiagnosed. Wait, we got one more. Yes,
right.
We do. This is outrageous. Borderline personality, 40% misdiagnosis rate. I mean, it's overwhelming. And think about that. Any of you that have a diagnosis, I want you to really take this to heart, because these stats, I just pulled these stats as a psychologist. I just pulled these stats, a week ago, because I wanted the updated stats on the mental health. I've known this for years. Anyhow, something to think about, but let's carry on.
The core takeaway is that people are taking pills. They're actually changing lifestyles, adopting life-altering labels based on expert opinions that are statistically more likely to be wrong than right. And they're changing their whole life and adopting a new lifestyle based on that. So it's completely a form of misdirection and control, and is detrimental to each and every one of us. And that's the nature of misdiagnosis. And that is the essence of what's occurring on a daily basis for the masses of people who are looking to these outside sources, the big pharma and the doctors and the experts. That's what we're going to talk about today. How to know within you and not look outside to the people who have not a clue, but they'd rather grab those big fat fees and keep it rolling and point you in a misdirection.
Proof of what happens when your gut is ignored, when your intuition is ignored. Ooh, it's not pretty. Okay, let's address the impact of being misled, ignoring intuition, ignoring inner guidance, and making decisions in the dark. So this is what most people do. They make decisions in the dark. No one's using their internal guidance system that's built in. It operates 24/7. You were born with it. Okay. No one even knows they have an internal guidance system or how it works, which is why we're here. You've got a gut feeling about something, and then someone else, because they're an expert, or the doctor in this case, says, I think you have this. And in your gut, you actually think, I didn't think that was my problem at all. I thought maybe it was, a little bit of depression because I just lost my job. I didn't think I had a big diagnosis here. But you don't tell the doctor that because you don't feel confident. Okay. This is the type of thing we're talking about. And so it's having the confidence to stand up for yourself. So it always takes two.
And we're looking in the wrong direction. We're looking to an expert that's trying to tell us about us.
Yeah.
Maybe we've had 20 or 30, 40 or 50 years with ourselves, and this expert doesn't even know who we are. And we walked in and they're telling about us, maybe bipolar, because one day you feel good, doc, and other days I'm really off. You go up and you go down.
It just dawned on me, if you will. I had 2 clients, both well-adjusted adults. They were stable at this point. Everything's cool. And we saw each other once a month because they're so stable. A male and a female, both in their 50s. I mean, there's nothing wrong. They're cool now. And then in the session, they both separately, they don't know each other. They both start crying emphatically in each session on the same day. I'm like, what is going on here? Well, here's what it was. In that month, they had a little bit of anxiety, so they went to their doc. He gave them a diagnosis, each of them separately, a diagnosis and a script for benzos. Okay, your benzos are your Valium and your Ativan and your Xanax. Those are the most common, and your Klonopin. Those are the most common 4. They each got a script for benzos. Well, benzos are known to make you highly emotional and sad, okay? So here we've got these 2 stable adults, and they're both crying emphatically in each session. And unless I ask the proper question, because of knowing everything I know with 30 plus years in the field, it was the benzos. It was this new label that wasn't appropriate and this new script that wasn't appropriate. And they're both crying. Now they're a mess. Yes, everything, all the work we had done for them to undo it with a pill. It was just, thank God they had me to say, wait a minute. This is why you're crying. This is why you're sad. Stop the benzos. Okay, here we go. The 6-month rule that you don't even know about. And neither does your doctor. Okay? And I am a doctor. I'm probably the only doctor that knows this rule. And it's the rule of diagnosing mental health. Here's the rule. You ready? A mental health diagnosis will never be accurate unless the individual, the patient, the client, has 6 months free of all chemicals, alcohol, beer, wine, another pill, another medication, 6 months chemical free in order to give a proper and accurate mental health diagnosis. Nobody knows the rule. Nobody follows the rule. No one has the discipline to stop chemicals of every sort to get the true diagnosis. So, you've got your outdated questionnaires that Michael already mentioned. Then you've got your pharma fees, okay, your quotas and your vacations and all these things that are caught up in what scripts people, prescribe. And then you've got the ultimate 6-month rule that no one knows about, let alone follows.
If you asked your doctor and you're going to a doctor and, and I challenge you go and ask them about the 6-month rule being clean and clear for 6 months before they can make a legitimate diagnosis, because these other things are affecting,
including a beer,
your behavior, and go into the diagnosis and the pills and the pharma and the beer and the alcohol. And you got to be clear of it to get a realistic diagnosis at all. They would all go, what are you talking about? They don't even know. They don't even know that because the truth is, here's the truth. And it's kind of like the old saying, can you handle the truth? They're wearing a white coat. And I'm telling you, when people see a white coat, even the doctors, I've had doctors tell me, oh, I love putting on that white coat because everyone gives me such respect. It's like they genuflect. Exactly. And we're giving all that authority to them. They don't know what the hell. They know nothing about us, let alone even the rule. They don't even know the parameters of what they're doing. They're working with big pharma. They're really slinging drugs.
Or they're also scripts that they've been using for 20 years, outdated scripts, or the latest, greatest script they just read about.
When I was at the University of Missouri, getting my PhD actually, and we had a large grant, medical sociology, a lot of docs involved, and went out and talked to the docs and interviewed them, and they'd all been working in the field for a while, and they were all honest in a way because it was off. We ate dinner together and I asked them some questions and, they said, Mike, I really don't, because one of the questions, do you stay up with the research in the field?
Thank you.
And they all said, no, Mike, I've got hospital hours. I got all these patients. I don't have any time for research. And they had not a clue what was the latest research to me. And in ignorance, I give them some pills. And that's it. That's the whole equation. So the people get blindsided completely because
the people are the victims of this lack of study, lack of knowledge, lack of care and concern. Truly. Do you know I spend most of my sessions undiagnosing people? I'm not kidding. That's when I stumbled on the error rate, just outstanding, that I was undiagnosing every single client that would come in and do their intake. Trusting yourself has to be the first option, not an outside source after a 15-minute consult. The corruption of therapists and doctors, knowingly or unknowingly, using guidelines from decades ago with manufactured questions, outdated manufactured questions, driven by big pharma, the reps, the fat fees, the quotas, the vacations, and the latest med that you see on the commercial, right? And decades old meds, because they're used to prescribing this one med from 30 years ago, so it's what they always use. I'm going to tell you guys my own little story, my own little experience back when I was I was newly sober. Yes. And, doing this and that. And how old was I? It was before you. It was like 22 years old. 22 years old. I went, to have some stability. Like, hey, there are a lot of changes going on. And I went to a doctor's office and I said, hey, and the first thing he pulled out was his script pad. And I said, and I was already in school for psychology, okay? I was still an undergrad, but still, I was like 2 years in, 1 year in, whatever. And I said, hey, we need to correct this stuff behaviorally first. Then you try a medication if nothing else works. He said, oh, no. You need the meds now to help with the whole process. I said, I looked at this psychiatrist. I said, you must be nuts. Actually, I think I even used some profanity. And I said, you're fucking crazy, bro. Essentially, that's what I said. You're fucking crazy, and I'm out of here. And I got up and I left the office, and that was the end of my ordeal with the psychiatrist. There were other methods. And here's the biggest part. Within 1 year, all my chemicals fixed themselves.
Right.
And within 1 year of no help, no meds, I didn't even take vitamins back then. Proper food and 1 year, everything fixed itself. Okay. But proper food and clarity and living right, exercise. I mean, I was at the gym every day, and the food, clean diet. 1 year, everything fixed itself with proper food, diet, and the gym, man. So there you go. If you're willing to use some discipline, everything gets corrected. For most people, there is a small percentage that actually have a diagnosis and need medication, and we're not discounting that at all. Heck, I'm a doctor. I'm not going to discount what's proper and what could be needed. But here's the deal with Trust Yourself, with Divine Guidance Institute, with the techniques, with your internal guidance system, you're going to know, do I have a diagnosis? Do I need a pill? Do I just need to go to the gym and change my diet? You're going to know exactly what to do along the way. Every step you will be guided.
And then you're guided, like Nic says, the beauty of it is, you sleep 6 to 8 hours a night. So a third of your life is sleeping, and you're getting dreams. And those dreams are guiding you. They are showing you what's going on a daily basis. They're always connected to what's going on right now, not from 50 years ago. No, now. And it's showing you the decisions that you're making on your health and your behavior with the doctors and the meds. And the dreams will show you, oh my God, you need to get rid of it and go over here. And, maybe you say, well, I'm not down with dreams and I don't remember them. Okay, good. Well, then when you're awake, there's signs. I mean, all day long, signs, synchronicities, coincidence, like it starts catching they're giving you the answer also. And if you don't get that, it's gut feeling. Does it feel right? When the doctor says, you're bipolar, you're ADD, what? I never had any. It doesn't, that little bell went off and we ignore it and go, oh, the white coast right? No, we are right. And it's interesting because, when I came back from Vietnam, I had severe PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, had nightmares every night. I wasn't sure what to do with it. I went to the VA. They didn't know what to do, but there was like 3 or 4 different meds. And I knew I followed my gut, luckily, and it just didn't feel right. And eventually, I found a solution on my own. It was like Nic's already sort of mentioned, behavioral stuff, how to shut the mind down, how to breathe, how to exercise, and all these things began to subside on their own and went away.
How long you been running 3 miles a day?
Yeah. Over 55 years now I've been running it, and the exercise has kept me balanced.
That is why we started the Divine Guidance Institute. It is not like this light little cute nonprofit we started. This is a mission because of the crisis of being blindsided. It is a silent epidemic. It is an international crisis. It's in the headlines weekly. I was blindsided. She was blindsided. They blindsided me. And we have more stats than we've even shared, but we're just focusing on mental health today. So this is exactly why we started the nonprofit and the mission. DGI is the solution, Divine Guidance Institute, the school, the mystery school, and the system built to give humanity back your internal signal, your internal guidance system. No one ever has to navigate blindsided.
Never. And it's really a form of, to break it down, it's a form of clarity, certainty, and knowingness. That voice is whispering to you what you need to do and how to correct it. It's our internal guidance system. It's 24/7. We're born with it. It's automatic, and it is 100% accurate all the time because it's a quantum physics thing as well as, we call it Godspeed because it's a higher form of knowingness, and we have that at our disposal.
You can start by enrolling in DGI, Divine Guidance Institute. Enroll today. Your internal guidance system gets turned on from day one. You will know this. It's like the blue pill or the red pill. Seriously, the Matrix, blue pill, red pill. This is taking the red pill. This is activating everything inside of you, walking through the door into this fabulous new reality. No more blindsides. Life starts revealing itself to you in this gentle 24/7 manner. Now, if that's too much, like the mystery school, whoa, start with the 40-day state shift. The 40-day state shift, either one of these programs, you hang out with us weekly. Okay, so it's not like you're on your own at all. We don't have teachers that we hand you off to, no, because no one even knows how to teach this stuff. They don't even know what it is. Holy moly, we're just coming out into the scene, people. Why? Because now you're ready. You've never been ready before. We've been waiting a long time. Okay, so you go to divineguidanceinstitute.org or 40daystateshift.com, 40daystateshift.com, and get rocking and rolling. Life changes on day one, experiential.
It speaks for itself, and it resonates immediately.
Woo!
It's never, ever, ever not worked. As soon as someone tries it, they always go, oh my God, I can feel that. I feel different. Things shift for you immediately. Proof's in the pudding. You don't believe it? Fine. Try it. Give it a minute, and you'll go, wow.
The red pill.
Yep, the red pill. You just swallow the red pill. And that's going to change your life.
Woo!
And put you into who you truly are, your higher self, for a much better life. Hey, trust your gut and save your ass.